Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Puckers New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
Well, emergency little episode here, boys. Figure we're gonna get on and discuss the big news last night. Apparently, once again, Jack's elbow shoulders made out of glass, and this is what happens. But before we jump into that, what's up, boys? How are you?
Well, all things considered, okay.
Okay.
During the doom and gloom of last night's game, I had some doom and gloom of my own in the kids' middle school game, playoff game. Well, similar results. It was a 4-0 shutout. This is the first time the team had ever been shut out. Oof. And
been our seven, so we're all right.
Yeah. Also, they
just no goals all around for Team Bobby.
No goals.
Yeah.
No goals for Team Bobby.
No goals.
And they hadn't lost a lot lately. They really went on a tear, and then they won their first playoff game convincingly. So it was kind of a new thing for them to, remember what it's like to lose. But they ran into a juggernaut, dude. They ran into a team with structure. They were on all our guys the minute they touched the puck. There was no traction to be had anywhere. I felt like I was watching a Lemaire 90s team, man. It was just blocked at the blue line. It was very different. And this was a team, we're in a developmental league. And this was a team that's in the same conference, but not developmental. So they were one step above, but they always reorg. So because the team did so well during the season, they reorged and had us play this upper echelon team because we were destroying everybody else, but they were not quite ready for that level. And it showed, but they played hard, but it was fun. So I didn't watch the game. I saw the score, and then I had to, of course, watch the full recap to see what.
Yeah, I mean, I turned the game off. Tim and I were texting, and it was 2-0, and it was 3 minutes left in the game, and I just kind of threw to him. I was getting ready to go to bed. I was tired. I'm like, if the beginnings of a miracle start happening, aka if they score, let me know. And I get oh shit, Jack's hurt. I get that text, and fuck. So he sends me the clip, and I see it. Just really unfortunate. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I mean, you had mentioned that it might look a little bit like a slew foot. It wasn't,
No, it wasn't. It's on second glance. I saw people saying that, and it's just not. It's just Jack toe picked a little bit. Eichel was going this way. Jack was going that way. Skates crossed. Shit happens.
That's it.
But
shit happens. And it sucks. I mean, it really sucks. We have zero information right now other than what Tim, you had shared with us that a report came out that the Devils are optimistic that this is not as bad as we originally thought. Now, does that still stand true?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Gabe Trevino reported. He's the new Ryan Novozinski at NJ.com. I got rid of my NJ.com subscription because, I just don't think this guy has any fucking idea what he's talking about.
Fair enough.
And yeah, it's not worth $10 without Novo's coverage. But we don't know. Apparently they had the day off today. Jack flew back to New Jersey to get it looked at. It looked bad. The way he went off, it looked bad. But Luke's injury looked bad the other day too. And I it sucks. But Bobby, the way you described the youth game that you were at. Yeah, it's almost exactly what happened to us. We played an upper echelon team that just stifled us everywhere we could go. Like Vegas's defensive structure is just so elite, and they have just monsters back there, mobile, big monsters that just get in lanes. It's impossible to get into the inner slot against this team. And we eventually got some good chances. It's like what Keith keeps saying, that's kind of a little bit of lip service, but it's true. It's like you kind of keep going at it and keep working at it, and eventually stuff breaks out. The Nico Timo Mercer line actually looks pretty good. Mercer finally looks like a legitimate hockey player again. He's just the ultimate passenger. Probably the worst game I've ever seen Jesper Bratt play. He was fucking awful, just downright awful. The fourth line was actually okay, but the third line was terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So we're kind of, I thought we'd hit rock bottom, but oh man, we're kind of right under that now. So,
yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head last night. It was a good team playing a great team last night, and that was it. It was evident. Vegas is fantastic, but again, the shutout sucks. The loss sucks. The on again, off again, win lose, inconsistency, all sucks. But the main reason we're here is because of Jack right now. This is what we need to talk about. Now, I'm going to say my piece on this. Now, I have a few. First off, I'm disgusted at the fact that Tom Fitzgerald waits so freaking long. Like, if this was a team that was winning, and okay, we have to add a piece here or there, I'm fine with waiting. But when you know that your team needs an injection of something that we knew a month ago, and I completely am not stupid in the fact of knowing that, yes, he probably couldn't make anything happen. No trades happen right now. But I just get frustrated because he seems to go into hibernation this time every single year. Now, Bobby froze.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. And he goes into hibernation, and we don't hear anything. Mike Rupp just threw out here, trade deadline going to be hard now this year. Do we go in and get Cousins? Cousins could possibly slot in Jack's position. Now, here's a couple of things. If Jack is going to be out, I do not think in any way, shape, or form Tom Fitzgerald and the Devils should alter from what their plan was at 8 o'clock last night to now. You don't. And you don't waver from it. You are going out to get players. This is still a very good team that needs help. And I think, I don't know, am I just looking through this through rose-colored glasses here? If Jack is going to be a week to week, do you LTIR him? Make your trades. Free up $8 million. Or, I know it's, not going to be $8 million, but, and have him come back for the playoffs healthy. Make your trades and make a run. This team now, it's Hischier, it's Bratt, it's Timo. They have got to step up. Luke, Dougie, these guys all have to offensively step up. And our bottom six has got to, now it's shit or get off the pot time. You don't have Jack Hughes to bail you out anymore.
Right.
And, I understand that a lot of people, or you take him out of the lineup and all of our scoring dries up. But I'm kind of optimistic. We saw this, was it last year, I think, when he went out? The team, or 2 years ago when he went out for a few games and the team kept their head above water, they played really well. It seems like when Nico goes out, everything falls apart. But when Jack goes out, guys seem to step up. But this now, I'm looking at guys like Jesper Bratt. It is now seriously time for you to step up and start scoring goals. And you're right, last night, he had a terrible game. He did. He had a horrible game. And I never, can't remember the last time I saw him play like that. I just think that this could be, I don't want to say a blessing in disguise because it's not. It's your best player. Hopefully, this is like a 1 or 2 game thing and he'll be back. But I don't think you waver at all from the plan. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has a plan. He's identified guys, and this is kind of, fits his MO. He's cautious to a fault, patient to a fault. We saw it last year with the goalies and the coach. The fan base generally understands the needs, just, actually filling those needs and what the needs are two different things. And it can be a little bit difficult. They've been linked to Jake Evans, but is Montreal willing to actually sell him, because they've also been talking to him about a potential extension. So it's, there are a couple, it's not just, I want that guy, I want to go out and get him, because if you say that and do that, then you're overpaying for it.
Big name
I
guys.
I
get that.
Yeah, I think and it's like
bottom 6 guys, though. You should have been able to make some deals.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Well, hurry the fuck up, man.
There were about a dozen bottom 6 guys that kind of moved around the league that we probably, if we knew were available. Some of them were traded for each other, like the Calgary Flyers deal where Frost and Farabee went to Calgary. You know, or could we have looked at those guys? I feel like Fitz gets a lot of Fitz very much has tunnel vision towards the guys that he wants and doesn't waver off of those guys. And he always has a plan A. And when plan A isn't kind of happening, he still is trying to force plan A, like a fucking retarded kid trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Can't say that anymore.
Like a mentally challenged kid trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Square peg. You can say retarded all you want.
like watching Chris trying to do 3rd grade math. But Dubs makes a good point in the chat. It's just like this could be an opportunity for some guys to step up that have, that haven't been. Timo, it's March, man. Like, this is your time to shine, pal. Like score some fucking goals, man. Like, you got that one. You didn't really get many chances against Vegas. Like, score some fucking goals. Maybe Brad put the puck in the net. Maybe he'll stop being so deferential to Jack or trying to find Jack all the time. Take some shots himself. Still think Palat should be a grocery bagger. That's a story for another time. But to Mike's point about Cousins, you look at teams like Buffalo. I could take like 4 guys off of Buffalo and insert them right into our lineup. Is there a large scale kind of hockey-ish trade with some of our prospects and some of our roster players and some of the guys on Buffalo? You look at like Peterka, Tuck, even Byram to come in and replace Siegenthaler. And then who do you bring up? Cousins. Yeah, Cousins is a center. Tuck, Peterka, Byram. those 4 guys for Mercer and Nemec and a whole shitload of picks. Like is that a possibility? What about Seattle? With Bukestad and McCann and Yanni Gord. There are tons of options, but throwing Mahura as a lefty to replace Siegenthaler. So there are teams like that I think there are options. I just don't know what Fitz is doing. He's gone. I put this joke in my blog, but he's gone Lou Dark 30.
Lou Dark 30.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good joke in the blog either. So
no, well, yay for effort.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
What do you got there, Bobby?
Yeah, I don't think you defer from the plan at all.
Okay.
First of all, we don't know the extent of it, but like you said, say this is long-term, like at least, we got 20 games left.
Yep.
So to me, long-term is anything approaching half of them or more, right? Including possibility of him coming back just for the playoffs. I would continue to drive for the playoffs and to try to actually advance in the playoffs. I might deviate from plan A if I'm Fitz and I had one to maybe now consider your trade targets in whatever order he might have ranked them to be kind of move up the people with term another tick, because now if you get somebody in that you need with the mindset that maybe you're not replacing Jack because you can't, but, for all intents and purposes, bringing someone in to help elevate that part of your game. And then you get Jack back. That's great. Now you've got somebody with term going forward. And if this hadn't happened to Jack, I'd be a little more apt to a rental, I guess is my point. So, but all that being said, it still almost doesn't matter because there's only so many deals that he can make. And there's going to be deals. The other people have to, of course, agree to the deals. But I wouldn't deviate like you. And I would look to some of the players. Now they have to stop deferring to Jack. Go out there, drive the play yourself, see what you get. We have a monster in Timo Meier. We've got plenty of people that can bury the puck. They just decided not to do it the last couple months. Maybe now they'll be reminded that it's part of the game and they'll just go ahead and do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's part of it, right? Now it's time for everybody in that dressing room to look at each other and understand that we can't just do it. We can't just be the Jack Hughes Devils. Like, we have to play as a team and,
So I wanted to do something quickly. I just wanted to pull up Puckpedia and just take a look at what we got.
You want to talk about Josh Anderson?
Just so everybody can see it. No, Mike's banned for bringing up Josh Anderson. Sorry, Mike, you're done. No Josh Anderson. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't even know how to ban
I don't know.
somebody
I don't know
from
if
the
you guys are
comments.
kind of familiar with this. I know.
I don't know that
I'm
we
on
have enough people that we
Twitter
can
more
go
than
ahead
you
Well,
banning.
are.
no, I
anybody.
definitely wouldn't
No, yeah.
ban one of our
Mike's like the one guy.
three
Yeah, the one
guys
guy
that are
in there.
watching. Listen, if he's had a few games, it'll force them
But
to
Montreal
produce another
fans are
draft watch of all time.
notorious
Yeah.
for Montreal fans are notorious for proposing absolutely bonkers, dumb trades on Twitter. Like they're like, well, could we get Simon Nemec for Jake Evans? It's like, no, you cannot.
No, you
That's
can't.
to use a word from before, that's fucking retarded. So hang on. So I wanted to share something.
Okay. We like sharing.
All right. So let's take a look at Puckpedia. Can you see me, sad boys, Puckpedia screen? All right.
Yes.
So what I just want everybody to see this LTIR pool number here, this 5.1 million. So that's basically how much money. That's basically how much money they have at the
right now
deadline. And what I wanted to point out actually is something smart that Fitz did. Right now, I will, as at this moment, yes, that's including Siegenthalers. So if you can read this, basically the LTIR pool is the cap hit of the LTIR player less the team's cap space when the player goes on LTIR. So when Fitz called up Casey and Nemec and Dawes and got us as close as possible to the top of the cap, that gave us as much room as possible because the LTIR money that you can use is LTIR above what your cap space was to the cap, basically.
Right.
So now we have that extra space within that. So what our cap was or what we were spending versus what the cap is to the LTIR. So we have 5 million and change LTIR money. So if
I have a quick
Jack
question.
gets added to that,
okay,
and
that's
kind of
where I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because it's not his whole 8 million, right? It's like retroactive, whatever's left for the 20 games, or is it his whole yearly contract?
So that's kind of that's amortized for the annual contract. So that's why there are a couple numbers up here. So like projected cap space is how much they have right now, based on the whole contracts. The current cap space is how much they have based on what they've been accruing, and the deadline cap space. So this 2.5 right here, with ignore the LTIR, the 2.5 is what that annual salary would be. So like earlier in the year, because we have 2.35 current cap space and the deadline cap space is 2.58. So the difference of that is 4 days, basically from today until Friday. So that's kind of the accrual of what the value on an annualized basis will be. So we can afford a $2.5 million player, but now we can afford a $5 million player. And if we have put Jack on LTIR, we can afford $13 million worth of players. So, so that's just a fun little thing that I think is kind of interesting. It's something smart that Fitz did, because I know everybody's shitting on Fitz. So I thought I'd actually bring up something that he did that was smart, and I'll stop sharing.
So this sounds like some Vegas shit then. Like if we went ahead and got a total stud player, like in that upper 11, 12 million, say, hypothetically, for this year, and then season ends, and now it is playoff game 1. Can we bring Jack up? And like, are the cap rules gone at that point?
Cap rules don't apply.
Right. And like what Vegas had done, especially the year that they won the Stanley Cup. So Mark Stone goes out with the injury. They just tell him, you know what? Go get the surgery.
Rest up, baby.
Rest up. Go get the surgery. Now the difference is they were firmly in a playoff spot. The Devils are this isn't so comfortable anymore. So they're going to have to do some work. But yeah, basically they went out, and I don't even remember who they got. I don't think it was like Hanifin, or was that last year?
They got Hanifin, but they had
got
some
a bunch of
retention.
dudes.
And Thomas Hurdle.
And then,
as well, and Hurdle there was retention on too. So there are guys out there, like I hope that they do that and bring in some big money players and say, fuck it, we'll figure it out over the summer. We have, buy out Palat, man, like buy out Hala.
Look, the one thing that hasn't changed is our goaltending is solid, our defense is solid, and we still have, a decent top 6 even without Jack in it, at least 4 of them. And you got to just swing for the fucking fences at this point. Like, I mean, look, this is all for naught if Jack's going to be back against Winnipeg on Thursday night or whenever that game is. Then it's all for naught. And who cares? But if this is something that, okay, it could be, if it's at all week to week, I say you throw his ass on LTIR and you get the money and you just go spend like a fucking spoiled rich kid in Vegas and bring in some players and take a shot. That's what I would like to see this team do.
If we got some big scorer who can put up numbers while he's done, and if Jack's supposed to be out for any, like I said, 6, 7, 10 games, just shut him down then. Get this guy to keep our heads above water and then bring Jack in at the end. I think it'd be great. Oh, I mean, I prefer Jack be on the team as quickly as possible, of course. But if that's not the reality, this is all the more reason. And we got something in the post there too about, next year's cap. I mean, we got even more money to work with. So let's find some people.
I don't think this is the end of the world at all.
No, I don't either.
The sky is falling kind of fucking attitude here. Now, if this was, Markstrom out for the year, Nico out for the rest of the year, I think we can survive without Jack. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but these, like I said before, everyone in that dressing room's got to a man, look at themselves and say, it's time for us to actually step up and earn our fucking paycheck, because our whole bottom six has not earned their goddamn paychecks all year.
And the whole offense really revolves around Jack.
Right.
And it may be good for some things to happen, like first power play, right? Bratt, you assume, slides into that Jack kind of number one puck carrier, puck dominant guy.
And we get Timo on it.
You get Timo on power play 1. And he's probably going to light the fucking goddamn world on fire. And I'm going to point it at everybody and be like, what the fuck? Where was that? So there's a lot that can go on. But, it'd be great to see Hala be 80% of what he used to be. At least he's just an absolute shell of himself. Like I said, I thought the fourth line was okay, but we just can't run out Justin Dowling anymore in any sort of significant minutes. The fact that this guy has played 50 plus games, something like that. Like I said, there's been a dozen guys come and go on waivers, Brandon Saad and Daniel Sprong, Frost and Farabee, and whoever they traded, Kuzmenko, I think from Calgary. Like there's been guys available. And I think that's why Fitz gets kind of slightly autistic about the guys that he wants and won't waver from that. I'd really love to be a fly in the room to figure out what he does, but I don't think the one thing I disagree with that a lot of people imply is that Fitz is somehow on vacation or sleeping or he's asleep at the wheel.
Hibernating.
Like you, like assholes like you that don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
He's in rare form tonight. We must have a bigger audience than normal.
Yeah, there's only 7.
Yeah. Evan's good.
No, I'm one of those because I'm watching the chat over here. And Mike makes a good point. The cap's going to be blown up over the next 2 years.
Yeah. Look, I'm like completely lukewarm on Tom Fitzgerald right now. I am because this is where GMs earn their money. I mean, this is a team that you believed right up until this week that this team can make a run. All the reports coming out that Tom Fitzgerald's going to go for it at the deadline. He's going to, load this team up and hope to make a nice long playoff run. That should not. I mean, whether or not this team can do it, I just don't know if we have the pieces. I really don't.
One of the funniest analogies I saw on Twitter. Christy Flannery, who's the Hockey News Devils beat reporter, said, Fitz has been one of the most active GMs at the deadline. Elliot Friedman said the same thing. It's like, all right, like these guys are carrying water for Fitz right now. But one of the funniest responses, and I forget who said it. I think it might have been actually Jack Hart, or the guy who was Casper Bratt for a while, said Fitz is like the guy that talks to every chick at the bar, but doesn't pull the trigger on any of them and winds up going home with the fat girl.
Yep. And we get Palmieri, right. That's the fat girl.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
You even mentioned like Brock Nelson would be a great fit right now. Just thinking about slotting him in that role. I mean, he's a hell of a center. Yeah, he's nowhere near what Jack Hughes is. But if you put him on that line and you get, again, somebody to replace Andre Palat, because last night it was so evident this guy should not be in a top 6 role. He's a bottom 6 dude now. Bobby, I know you're getting joy out of this because you've been saying it forever, but yeah, he's got to get back down, slot him properly, and hopefully we can see some production without all of the you're on the top line pressure, and go, like you said, go get Brock Nelson. That's not going to be much to get Nelson. We've made deals with the Islanders before when they were where we are now. You know, we gave them, they got Zajac, they got Palmieri. We can get Brock Nelson and probably get him for not a lot. Try to talk to, you said, to Buffalo, a guy like Cousins. If you didn't get Nelson, Tuck. I mean, there's so many guys out there. So I just think you got to pull the trigger. Like, I mean, come on. Nothing's going to change from now till Friday. Just fucking do it.
We've been so bad for so long. It was a long fucking rebuild, man. We had that one little appearance in the playoffs, and then we had our, then another gap in the record-breaking season. Then we missed it last year. It's just, you're in a playoff spot right now. You got to keep that playoff spot, and you got to go for it. We've seen worse teams than us get hot in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, before we jump into anything else, what is this here? New teams know that we're desperate for help. They obviously demand more. Yeah, I mean, yes, you're right. And I read something about somebody on Pucks and Pitchforks wrote an article like Fitzgerald needs to stop showing his hand. Like, anybody who if 3 idiots like us do a podcast and for the last 3 months are going, we need a 3C and we need a winger with Jack. Like, trust me, the whole league knows it. So I don't buy too much into that. Like, yeah, maybe we'll pay a little bit more, but if you have to get the guys you want, because we've discussed it a million times, the entire Eastern Conference, with the exception of maybe 3 or 4 teams, believe that they're, in this race. So are they going to be buying 2? Or is there 6 teams that are all in on one guy? Well, if you have the assets to move them more than anybody else, it doesn't matter. You got to give up an extra draft pick. Fucking do it. At this point,
the buyer almost always pays more. It's got to be a pretty rare example where you actually won that trade because you're doing exactly that. You're trying to buy. You don't want to go that route, then you save it for the offseason and you look more for like equal value trades. That's not what you're doing this time of year.
Right. And if like someone like Jake Evans goes from a 3rd rounder to a 2nd rounder, who gives a fuck? It's not going to go from 3rd rounder to Simon Nemec, like, except in the delusional land of Habs fans. That's just maybe a little bit, but also as the deadline gets closer, more sellers also get desperate to unload the guys that they need to unload. Their expiring contracts, their RFAs that they're going to get rid of, the UFAs that they're going to get rid of.
They don't want to lose guys for nothing.
They don't want to lose guys for nothing. Yeah, it's asset management, and I think that's some of what Fitz is doing too. Is it's saying like, well, okay, like I want McCann and Bjorkstrand, but I also can I get Tuck and Peterka, and I have Nemec in a 2nd and a 1st to offer, and these guys want Casey in a 2nd and a 1st, and what deal is better?
Right.
So there are ways as a buyer to kind of play, I think, these guys off each other, and I think the closer you get to the deadline, the more desperate sellers get, but also the more desperate buyers get. So I don't know. We'll see. Like, the verdict's out for me on Fitz. I don't have a lot of confidence in him right now. We've had clear needs for 2 months now, and this team has been circling the drain for 2 months, and I just don't like how he approaches. I build it in the off season and I build this family, and then I'll tinker at the deadline. It's like we are getting Vezina caliber goaltending and probably have the best decor we're going to have 3 years from now and 3 years before now. Like, having this defense and goaltending, we can't sacrifice this season just because prices are a little bit high.
Yeah, and there's always this belief that you have to play up to like your hockey card, right? If the guys all just did what they're capable of doing, we'd get out of this mess. But at how long can you carry that before you say, well, they're not doing what they're doing? So simply change some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I would much prefer a GM that does have the mindset of, if you're not producing, you're not here. And maybe that's reckless, but Tom Fitzgerald is the polar opposite of that.
There's a difference between a cold streak over a month and then this happening for 2 months and being this has been a long enough sample size to realize that Erik Haula shouldn't be playing hockey for the Devils anymore. It's long enough sample size to realize that Andre Palat should not be playing on Jack's wing anymore. It's a long enough sample size to realize that Justin Dowling should not be getting NHL minutes.
100%.
It's a long enough sample size to realize that Thomas Tatar is better served up in the lineup or on waivers. Nate Bastian, there is a sub replacement level player. There's just so many things wrong with this team that I think are fixable. And from a volume perspective, it's much easier to fix the forward group than it is the defensive group. We have such a good defensive core and such good goalies that tinkering with the forward should not be that difficult.
I mean, we know Buffalo's out of it. Mike writes Cousins is to play. He's young enough and could be a stud third line center. I would be over the moon if it was Nemec and whatever heading up to Buffalo for Cousins and Tuck. And then you could maybe do something with the Islanders and get Brock Nelson in to fill in. And now you have no room for Holla when Jack gets back. And that's fine. If that's fine. He can sit up in the press box and watch the playoffs. But that would make our, then, I mean, you're talking about a center depth of Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, Dylan Cousins, and Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit. I mean, that could work. That could really work.
Yeah, I think that's you put Jack on LTIR and you get him back for the playoffs. Again, we're this all speculatory. We have no idea what's wrong with his shoulder right now.
What's not speculatory is DraftKings and the Hockey Podcast Network are wonderful sponsors here at the Uncle Puckers. And it might not feel like it. I don't even know if I should be reading this one, but they didn't tell me that I have a new one to read. So I'm going to read this one. But spring's right around the corner. Know how you can tell? Golfers are hitting the links and we have some tournaments to talk about. And if you want to do more than just talk, put your money where your mouth is. Get in on all the tee to green action with DraftKings Sportsbook. And some special for first timers, new DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to bet $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. A gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE. Look, if you got a gambling problem, it's your problem. All right, just call that number and deal with your shit. All right.
First of all, my kids. I'm sorry. It's going to be community college.
Right.
Timo's not scoring goals, kids. I'm sorry.
That's it. So you guys know what to do if you have a gambling problem. Other than that, DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. The crown is yours. I didn't want to get too much into the stupid ad read. So there you go.
Just so you guys know, we don't make any fucking money from that.
Don't worry. If we keep it up, we won't have to do ad reads anymore. So we're good.
There you go. So, I mean, like I said, I mean, I know how bad this whole thing looked, and it sucks, but I think that this could, maybe this is crazy, but this could be the best thing to happen to this team. This team that has been Jack Hughes centric for all year. Everybody defers to Jack. And I think that it does stymie some offensive production from some other guys. So I'm really curious to see if the rest of these dudes can step up.
It's a story that's been written before. We're not the first team to lose your flashy star forward, and then the team kind of galvanizes, pulls it together, gets a little more structure, whatever it is. It certainly happened.
Right.
And again, I'm with you. I just don't think it's the end of the world. I don't prefer it. I want Jack back. I want him in the playoffs. But the way this team's been playing, hopefully it is a spark. It has to be a spark, doesn't it? Like, how can you, to a man, walk in the room and not realize I'm picking up my game one way or the other?
You're that's the question, though, right, Bob? What's the feeling in the dressing room? Is it that? Is it that galvanizing, or is it we're fucking done? I mean, now we don't have 86. We can't do anything. We're done. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. One of the oh, nice. I'm frozen again. Cool.
Yeah, but you're frozen with a nice smile on your face.
Yeah,
you look happy.
I look kind of handsome there.
I don't know about that. I said happy.
All right, there, chid music. One of the worst things that I heard was I guess Luke was like so emotional.
Yeah.
That they had to pull the press out of the room. It's like, come on, man. It's like you're a professional athlete about to make $9 million a year. Like,
he didn't die on the fucking ice.
I know.
He didn't hit the boards and get terminal cancer. Like, he's hurt.
Right. Like, come on. Like, it's okay, Luke. I realize you're a sensitive boy, but it's relax. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just making fun of Luke, poor kid.
I do want to bring up something outside of the Devils, and you guys were sharing the Matt Rempe hit from last night, and once again, did the Rangers win that game? Does anyone know?
Did they lose? Did they win? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I
Honestly,
might
I don't
check
even
that.
think about. I don't even fucking think about the Rangers anymore. They're so irrelevant to me. Like actually, my last blog, like I kind of forgot to make fun of Valaquette at the end because like I don't think about them at all.
Yeah, you have to do that because that's a lot of fun. I just want to see
feel
if
like I
the
saw they
Rangers
lost.
they did lose, huh?
No, I said I feel like I saw that they lost, but you're obviously having a hard time pulling up your score, so I'll pull that
Well,
up.
it gave me the Texas Rangers fucking score. So
That's not what you're looking for.
not at all. Let's see.
They
No,
won
they
4-0.
shut them out 4-0.
Okay.
So that's anyway, that's 2 shutouts in a row, huh? I think they shut out the team before them, who they played before. Let's see. No, that was the Maple Leaf game that they lost. But anyway, so Matt Rempe with the elbow, chicken wing somebody, and I just have to say all this stuff about these Matt Rempe apologists out there, and I put this out on X before. I was like, I think there comes a time where even the apologists, you just have to stop and realize that the dude is a dirty fucking player. There's nothing else. It's not because he's big. It's because he's reckless and he's dirty. That is why he fucking does the shit he does.
Remtard.
Where'd you go, Mike? Yes, he is a fucking goon. And I like Remtard a lot. I really think that we're stealing Remtard from Mike Ruff here. That's just fucking beautiful. But yeah, enough of this. And I mean, Sarah Palin should just go fuck the dude right now. I mean, the love that she has for the Remtard, it's mind-boggling. She's like, I thought her vice presidential campaign really showed her fucking ignorance and stupidity. This takes the fucking cake.
Dude,
so,
her whole "I'm from Alaska, I know hockey" stick is like so old when you're going to defend this guy the way she does. It's enough. Just shut up.
Oh yeah, I watched Mystery Alaska. I know about enough, and I know who Jeremy Swayman is and Scott Gomez. That's Alaskan hockey. Like just because it's cold doesn't mean hockey's like the greatest thing there. Shut the fuck up.
I didn't even know that Swayman was from Alaska.
He is indeed.
Yeah. Bobby's ex-girlfriend is from Alaska.
Oh, how about that?
XXX.
Well, your college girlfriend was from
one
Alaska.
of. Not like I only had one.
Yeah. Okay. She was the only one that was even worth even talking about. So.
No, but it's so funny because she's dating Ron Duguay, which is just a hilarious lineup. I guess that's why she's all in on Rangers Twitter now. It's pretty funny. So anyway, yeah, you can see the video of him coming in, and his arm is just out, ready, locked and loaded. It's like, man, you gotta tuck that elbow. Like they're coming for you. You can lay big hits. You can, like.
Well, we saw Cilia do it in that clip that's been thrown around social.
We did.
He's as big as Rempe, and he knows how to play. I cannot wait for this kid to get in his
like
lineup.
An actual giant out there.
God, I cannot wait
incredible.
to see him. So, is there any chance he's going to be next year or no?
I don't know. I think his contract. I don't know if anybody in the chat, Mike Ruff might know, but I think he has one more year in his Russian contract, and then come over. So it may be a couple years till we see him, which I guess is fine. He'll come over when we sign Quinn. So the left side will be Luke, Quinn, and Salayev.
Well, we can't. Right now, Luke is the only fucking Hughes brother that's playing. So let's hope that. Yeah, I mean, these guys, I love them, but they're made of fucking glass. I am.
Yeah, it's tough when our best players, clocks in at $160 probably tops. You can't
get everything in the gene pool. You know what I mean? If you're going to win that kind of gene pool lottery and have that kind of talent, you're going to be a little.
It's like God came down. It's like, I will bless your kids with magic feet. It's like,
Right.
oh,
And
cool.
small
They will
style.
fall a lot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yeah,
And we will
fall a
bless
lot.
your kids with rubber band shoulders.
But not Luke. Luke's a fucking stud.
Yeah, Luke's a
Apparently,
monster.
but your youngest, I will give size and I will give strength and I will make him an emotional mess every time something bad happens on the ice. I mean,
Dude, that Nico's first goal against Utah, that
Yeah.
move that Luke pulled off at the blue line, like that
Oh my
was
God.
like serious Quinn Hughes type shit. Like
I
when he
don't-
just when
I
he
don't-
like kind
I
of
don't
lost it toward
actively post during games often. That one move made me light up a few posts about how critical that was and how that's just it really is above what most defenders are comfortable doing at all. Like, and he
I
does it
feel like
very
he
well.
doesn't have confidence in how good he is sometimes. Like he doesn't trust his play sometimes. I think that's why he's always deferring to other people a lot, especially on the power play and things like that. Like, no, dude, do it yourself. You're capable. You can do it. And, fuck you, Jobu. I do it myself. That's what I want to see. But I think that'll come. His confidence will be there. I think he's going to be an amazing player.
Yeah,
But this
and
is also another time for him. This is time for Luke to step up now.
yeah, and I think that's an underrated thing. And I meant to bring this up, but it's kind of I touched on it when I talked about the scoring issues that I was noticing a couple months ago, and I hate to say I was right about everything, but I was. Our decor,
Nostra fucking Timus.
yeah, something like that. And if you see my face right now, I was being a wise ass.
Well, we can never see your face anymore, Tim. Just
Yeah.
can't get a read.
Just look at that handsome smile. Is our decor like we get zero production out of our decor. Like there's next to nothing coming out of those guys. You got Dougie. Like I think our second leading defensive scorer is Seamus Casey, goal wise. But then like Lazar and Hala have less goals than Jonas Siegenthaler does in 2025. So it's like it's so bad. The drop off is so bad below us. Fitz has a lot of fucking work to do, man. He's got to fix this shit.
I have to ask Mike Ruff a question. It might be hard to type it out, but I'm very curious because you're out there in Vancouver. How did you become a Devil fan, dude? Like, I'm just really curious about that. I love hearing how people outside of this area
Did you
become
move
Devil
there?
fans.
Were you born there? Yeah.
Yeah, it was just I wanted to pick a team, and the Devils look cool. I'm curious. So, if you want to just throw a nice little short answer
logo
out.
in sports.
With Devils
grew up
and
in
the best
Jersey.
name.
Yeah.
Oh, he grew up. Okay, that's a good enough reason. Where in Jersey
enough.
did you grow up? Next question.
What's your social security number?
Yes. And what's your last four digits of your primary?
Can you put your bank card info in the
Yeah.
in the chat? Thanks.
Listen, Mike, it's not really a Patreon account. We're just going to take whatever the fuck we want. So just throw it on up there.
Yeah,
but-
it's Mike. Mike's the only one left, I think.
Did anybody watch? Well, nobody watched the North Jersey. Huh? That's fucking great.
That's good. We should get Mike on as on video one of these days.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, he is the only one still on, or at least still posting. But whatchamacallit, I was gonna. Did anybody watch the Elimination Chamber this weekend? No, nobody. Oh my god! Our girl.
Were you talking about John
Wrestling.
Cena going heel?
I wasn't gonna bring it. I wasn't talking about that, but yeah, that was
Oh.
pretty awesome.
Mike Ruff's your guy for that. He watched that over the Devils game.
I mean, I was not expecting Cena to turn heel, but I'm happy about the heel turn. I think it's pretty cool. It's different. It's fresh. But I have to give a shout out to our girl, Jersey girl, Liv Morgan, who absolutely stole the freaking show in the Elimination Chamber match. She was phenomenal. Oh, fuck you. She was phenomenal. So a shout out to our Jersey girl, Liv. She was great.
I got a serious question for you. I know you've never let this stuff go, right? So
I'm going to hop out and come back in really quickly.
What the hell happened to the WWE? And what I mean by that is like when we were growing up, right? At least you had guys that were trying to convince you back in the day that the shit was absolutely unscripted. I'm not going to say isn't real because we know they take a pounding. Like that shit actually hurts.
Right.
But it was scripted. It was a story. And for a very long time, they tried to hide behind that.
Yes.
Then you had kind of the next wave, like The Rock and Stone Cold, that to me, that whole group really felt like this was an art to them as much as like an actor, really says this defines me, who I am. This new class, like whatever it's awful. I mean, my kid loves it. I can't stand it.
Who do you not like?
I don't like any of it. That I just listen, everything seems so pulled back. The punches, the hits are so far from, oh God. Yeah. I'm sorry. Maybe you see it.
There are a lot of guys in the WWE. I like WWE.
Maybe it's AEW. The next shit he's watching. Maybe it's the up and comers that I'm seeing that they're like, it's just
look,
not quality.
You watch, and I agree with Mike that yes, the storylines have been great since Triple H took over. That's number one. Number two, they have the wrestlers that they have now. The guys like, I don't want to put Rock and Cena and Stone Cold up there because they were phenomenal, especially in their heyday. But take most of the other guys that were undercard guys and stuff back then, couldn't hold a candle to everybody in this fucking in this locker room right now. They are all phenomenal wrestlers. Now your thing doesn't really look real, or it does. Like, yeah,
I'm used to seeing Mick Foley get smacked to shit, and now I'm seeing these fans. I feel like I'm watching Rocky IV. The punches are coming close, but they're not really hitting you.
WWE doesn't allow blood anymore. Well, they didn't back. Now that Vince is gone and The Rock and Dana White have taken over, they are getting more into that now, like bringing back some blood and using it sparingly. So headshots with chairs and stuff are now prohibited. You can't do that anymore because of all the shit we know about CTE and stuff like that. So they don't do all the extreme shit that they used to, but they do some really extreme shit. I'll tell you this. If you want to go on Peacock tonight,
excuse me,
watch the first match of the Elimination Chamber, which was the women's Elimination Chamber match. Watch that. Watch what happens to Liv Morgan in that match and tell me that she's not tough as fucking nails. And then watch the unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And I think your attitude or your opinion of it will change if you watch those two.
I see, like, they get one little punch and then they're dazed for like 15 minutes until the guy sets up this roundhouse kick.
Right. It's all about selling.
It seemed to be.
It's less about the fighting and more about the stories.
The fight script is so pre-choreographed in a way. They're trying to do very specific moves that there's no just kind of reaction anymore. It doesn't look like a fight to me anymore. It looks like it's how I wrestle my kid. Oh, I smacked you in the head. And he's all like, oh, pin me.
It's all telegraphed a lot.
You froze up again. You froze. Good. You were trying to fuck with me.
Hey,
you froze.
He's back.
Good for you.
I'm back.
And that was something Mike's brought up, something that Cody Rhodes did at the Elimination Chamber. I never heard anybody say the F word during a WWE event, and he told Rock to go fuck himself at the Elimination Chamber. That was pretty awesome in front of 35,000 crazy screaming Canadians. But yeah, I love it. I still enjoy it. I don't watch every Raw and every SmackDown and every AEW Dynamite anymore. I try to, and I watch every premium event though. I love watching like next is WrestleMania. I'm jacked for WrestleMania. It should be great, especially a heel Cena going into it. Should be good. So now that I got my wrestling out of my system, cool. I guess we could talk hockey.
Yeah.
Tim, did you freeze again? Yes. Are you there, Tim? He's not there. He's
no gone. Audio, Tim? Nothing?
I got nothing from Tim. All right, Tim. Bounce out and do this thing again if you can. God damn, his internet sucks.
Fucking Maryland.
So I'm going to get rid of him and give him a hint to get off and do it again. Let's see if Tim freezes the same amount as Remtard elbows people in the head. That's great. I mean, look, I'm so anxious though. Like that's my thing right now. Like I'm so anxious to get I thought today was going to be the day. I really thought today was going to be the day that some trades were going to be made. And Internet issues again. Yes, Tim, we know. I really thought today would be the day that they would go and make some trades. You got the day off. You got one more road game and do it. But again, nothing's done. Nothing. I don't think anything's going to get done until Friday.
Yeah, at this pace, that's what it seems like. He's really taken that, that Lou philosophy of when you have time, use it thing to the extreme. And I just think he's going to wait for every last bullet to land his way before he goes to plan B.
Like I said on the last show, if we find out like Alex Tuck and, Jake Evans and whoever else gets traded to other teams, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the first guy that I was like, why didn't we could have put together that package was Granlund.
Yeah.
I was like, we could have easily matched that package. I don't get it. I don't know if that was more of a cap dump for Cody Ceci or not, but yeah. But like, I said before, like we should go after a depth D just for depth, but like those are the most valuable trade chips at the time, like the most valuable pieces that guys go after. Like the only issue we have competitively from a trade perspective is there are probably like 6 or 7 teams looking for a 2-3C right now. Like Toronto's looking for one, Winnipeg's looking for one. We're looking for one. So that's potentially going to be a hang up. So
I don't know much about like Winnipeg's farm system and stuff like, but I can't think that there's too many teams in the NHL that have more to offer than we do right now.
I don't think there are. Like we are in a very good space from an asset perspective, but I think Fitz has got to stop hoarding them. We have, like we keep talking about it. We have Nemec Casey and
probably got shit like fucking just piled up to the ceiling. Fitz is just a hoarder of everything.
Yeah, it's like he's got this porch with just like all of his kids' old school books just sitting next to him off camera.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah,
I know what you're doing there. I could show you all
that.
There's
Probably a cat litter box somewhere around there.
There most definitely is, but there's no poop in it. I clean it before I come on the show.
Did you guys watch any of the Shane Gillis skits from Saturday Night Live?
No, I didn't watch any of it.
The one of them was fucking hysterical. It's probably going to be like an all-time skit. It was like a husband in the doldrums, and it was like, not communicating with your wife or not enjoying, your kids' baseball games.
I did see this one.
Yeah, and then it's like here's the solution: couple of beers. And then it is so fucking funny.
Yes.
Yeah, I said it too. But then a little bump.
It's just funny because that couple of beers, it's just like a really big. I buy beers that size. It's already kind of a thing. There's a 32-ounce stand.
I remember the last time I had a beer.
Oh my god!
Seriously,
come to my house.
No, I live in New Jersey, so I can partake in other things not marijuana related, like my gummies, which I'm about to eat right now.
You mean speaking of a new sponsorship?
Yeah, right.
Pennsylvania's good. Pennsylvania's good for that too.
Are you legal in Pennsylvania?
I'm pretty sure.
I think most.
What about Maryland?
Are now. Yeah, Maryland definitely is. There's a dispensary right down the street.
It's just the internet that's illegal in Maryland.
Mike's like, you motherfuckers. The weed's been legal in Canada for the last 10 years.
I know. We are so awesome. like the Liberal Party in Canada makes our Democratic Party look fucking like Republicans, basically. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's just some of those. It's just some of those. You can like or hate Shane Gillis or whatever, but I think he's actually pretty funny. But some of his sketches were absolutely hysterical. They did one where it was him and a blonde white newscaster, and then a black female newscaster and a black guy newscaster, and they were talking about different stories, and it kind of devolved into them keeping score of like who the bad guys were, basically.
My favorite thing on Saturday Night Live on the Weekend Update is when Colin Yost and
Michael Che, yeah,
and they write each other's jokes before they could fucking read them. Oh god, it is hysterical. When Bobby, go on YouTube and just type that in and watch some of them. It's so freaking funny. And the other one doesn't have a clue what's coming up, and they have to read it. And it's usually like racist and offensive shit. that you don't ever want to say, which is so fucking funny.
The Michael Che's reactions are hilarious. He's like, Jesus, Colin, that was terrible.
Right. I got to ask about is his name Grizzlick?
Gritsuk?
Yeah, the Russian kid.
Yeah.
Is he a potential chip?
I think so. I think him and Lenny Hamaniho, those are our two best prospects. We've got this Schlane kid that's playing for Arizona State that was kind of bounced around a little bit, and he's actually having a pretty good season. This kid Matsias Milovsky, I think his name is, that you guys thought I made up, that I went out of my way to prove that it's not.
You're making shit up again.
not a made up.
I think that one's really divided by the fan base.
That I made that up or not?
No.
Real? Oh.
No, we know that's fake. You always make shit up like that. No, Gritsuk or whatever. I think from what I see, like a lot of the fans are.
Well, we look at.
I don't want to get rid of him. The little bit that I've seen, I've been so excited to see him in Jersey.
These guys, like, I want to see him and Hamaniho next year in New Jersey. But if we can bring in like a Tuck or a Paterka or a McCann or a Raquel or a Bukestad, like, and one of those guys goes the other way, I'm not going to lose any fucking sleep over that. Like, and I will say something, like, speaking of prospects, I think Nemec has actually played pretty well the past couple of games that he's been. Yeah. He's gotten incrementally better, and I feel like the fan base kind of jumped the ship a little bit too quickly on him. And I am kind of leaning more towards maybe we look at move Kovacevic. He's been in pretty steep decline now that Siegenthaler's gone. But if we get Siegenthaler back for the playoffs, then we have that Siegenthaler-Kovacevic shutdown pair, which I think isn't something we should poo-poo. So
I'm going to say before we do Bobby's game.
Oh yeah,
and we'll wrap up with that. The one thing I am going to say, like, if Jack is out for long period, we have that LTIR money, and we can get Siegs back, we can get Jack back, we can go out and pick up 2, maybe 3 guys before Friday and really set this team. And then come playoff time, those 2 guys come back in, I will be over the moon. I will feel so good about our chances going forward. But if it's fucking Kyle Palmieri and that's all we get and nothing is done and Jack's out long term, then I wouldn't be shocked if we end up on the outside again looking in. And if we don't make the playoffs this year, Tom Fitzgerald better lose his fucking job.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, I'm right in the middle on Fitz right now, but if he fucks this up, like, I'm out on him.
Probably a bad time to remind everybody that we've said on multiple occasions earlier this year in the offseason that if the Devils don't make the playoffs, we're no longer going to be the Uncle Puckers. Yeah, I'm not saying.
Yeah. I'm just saying. We're going to change our name?
No, we said we were going to stop. We're like, how are we going to do this shit if they don't actually make the playoffs this year?
Oh, we're going to keep going. Yeah. Chris and Mike are going to start a Uncle Puckers wrestling podcast.
Look, they're not missing the playoffs. It's not going to happen. All right. No, I don't think it's even in the. I'm not saying they're going to end up in the top 3. It might be a wild card spot, but they're going to make the playoffs.
Like we play Columbus twice. I think either next week or the week after. We win those 2 games, we're fine.
Yeah,
like that's like I don't see this team fully collapsing to the point where we just don't make the playoffs. Like, it's almost mathematically impossible.
Then good, we got all another season impossible of coming up. That's good. That's good to know. Yeah, job security.
Sorry. Yes. Job.
Right. Bobby, why don't you
all right. So this one is for
Blue Jacket. I'm sorry, real quick. I just want to. Yes, the Blue Jackets are punching above their weight class. I agree with that. But that's a dangerous team, and they scare me a little bit. And I'm real curious to see. I mean, look, we outplayed the shit out of them last time, and Merzlikins just stole the game. So can we do that again? And like you said, but the next 2, you're talking Dallas and Winnipeg. I mean, those are fucking brutal. So yeah. I mean, it's going to be a tough stretch, but I do still believe in a lot of the guys on this team. So, Bobby, please explain your game.
All right. So we've only played this once. And again, for anybody online, we want you to participate in the chat, and you guys do it in the chat too. So we'll still have everybody answering. You remember how to do the chat, Chris?
Yes.
So we've only played this game once so far. And once we did it, we realized that this is one of the ones we want to do when we actually have people live on. If anybody listens to The Devil You know how we play that game. This one's a little different. This one, we're going to pick the Devil season that I'm talking about. And unlike The Devil You Know, where you get 3 answers and it's the first one to win, This is you only get to answer once. That's why it's in the chat. You're going to answer the year that you think we're talking about, and you're going to answer it by the season end year. So like the Devils won the Cup in 1995, that's 1995. The 94-95 season, you just call it 1995. It's 10 total questions. There's 8 pretty vague ones and 2 layups. And you decide at what point you want to actually put your one and only answer in the chat. Now, the Puckers screwed this up the last time we did it. You guys just kept throwing dates. You get one time that you can enter it. So you may kind of think you know it early, like question 5, but you might also tip somebody else off to the fact that what error it was, who maybe isn't knowing. So you got to kind of decide when you want to.
So how many guesses? How many guesses do we get again?
You get one guess. God damn it, one. See, there goes Chris.
I'm sorry. I can't keep guessing. I did 2022 twice.
So
I did
winner,
2002 and 2022. And
we have the timestamp here, right?
And
so the winner is the person who gets the year first or is the closest.
And for the guys playing at home, we're using the honor system here. So don't be a douche and start Googling this shit.
It's way more fun to just kind of,
unless we can't fucking get it, then Google it. Who cares?
Yeah.
I'm just getting back to seeing some of the comments in the chat that Tim freezes the same amount as Remtart elbows people's in the head.
Yeah, we read that one while you were off.
There's always going to be a winner because you don't have to get it right. At the end, it's whoever's closest. So.
Okay.
We always have a winner. We might take the winner each time and put them in some kind of crazy ass fucking prize closet, and maybe we'll get something at the end of the year. So everybody ready to play?
Ready.
That's ready to play.
Right. Now, the listeners are a little bit behind us, so if there's a tie, they're going to get it. Got it? All right. In this season, we scored 242 goals, which was good for 18th in the league in a year where the highest amount of goals scored was 314 by the Senators, and the lowest was 197 by the Blues. Our road record this year was sub NHL 500, coming in at 19, 16, and 6, or 19 wins and 22 losses.
And 6 ties?
Yeah. The most assists on the team, 51, belonged to a forward, but the second most on the team, 48, belonged to a defenseman. And Chris, no, 3,046 has not happened yet, nor has
2089, but put that in too.
One of our
a year in that I'm waiting to hit enter on, but I'm
one of our most notable shutdown centers was a -7 this year.
Ooh.
The Devils were still in the Atlantic Division. We were first in the division with 101 points, tied with Philly, but we won the tiebreaker for having one more actual win. We swept our first round opponent in the playoffs that year. Now that's the 8 questions. Now these 2 are the layups. So here's where you got to decide when to put your answer in.
Chris guessed.
I guessed.
Okay, that's again, it doesn't matter yet. Chris guessed. Brian Giunta scored 48 goals.
Mike Ruff guessed too.
And we lost to the eventual Stanley Cup champions in round 2.
God damn it.
4 games to 1.
We lost to the eventual Cup champions in the second round.
Yes.
4 games to 1.
Yes.
I think DJ's got it.
We have Mike Ruff at 2003 is wrong. Chris at 2003 is wrong. Tim at 2005.
But
that was the beginning of the year. DJ Campbell is correct. 2000.
Nice. There you go, DJ.
Nice, DJ.
Wait a second. I meant 0506.
I clearly explained the rules. It's the tail end of the year.
All right, you got to put down that DJ Campbell won that one.
I will do that.
DJ gets
the big ass
Chris, what was that signed puck? The Randy Belichick.
I don't know what it is yet. We don't have much yet. We don't really collect that kind of crap.
It might be a Randy Belichick signed hockey puck. You never know.
No, do you know what we should send DJ? We should send DJ an Uncle Pucker sticker.
Yes, you can just
let us give us your
sticker. And
Tony doesn't have an Uncle Pucker sticker.
Tony's like, I fucking made them and I don't even have any. Poor Tony.
Oh my God.
All right. Well,
That's
guys, this was a lot of fun. I think that we've kind of calmed the waters in Uncle Pucker land for the 8 of us that are now, in this circle here. I don't think there's much to get too worried about here. Now, if Friday
do,
comes and
but-
goes, nothing is done, well, then yeah, put a fork in us. But we still have moves to make. I think we do it. I think we can still go on a run without Jack Hughes. Maybe we play a little bit different. Maybe guys like Timo and Nico are going to have to carry it, but they're capable. So I'm still confident. I might even go as far as saying that I think they can end up better because of this. I really do. And yes, he should get his thumb out of his ass because that's. Don't say it to Tim, no, because he gets
that
gets
thumb
very
out of your
upset
ass.
when you
don't know where
say
that thumb's
it isn't
been.
doing anything. What, Bob?
I've
that
said,
thumb out of your
I've
ass. You
said,
don't know where
I've
that thumb's
said
been.
1,000 times he's doing everything right. He's just not scoring. The motherfucker needs to score.
Who?
All right, let the
Tom
motherfucker
Fitzgerald?
score.
Tom Fitzgerald can't score.
No, get your thumb out of your
And
ass.
shit out a golden egg.
Those who
and shit
can
out
do,
of-
those who can't teach.
That's right.
I'm not
And those
gay.
that
He
can't
sucked
teach
my
taught
dick.
at our school. All right, we are going to wrap this thing up. Guys, thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. This is turning out to be a lot of fun once a week when we do this.
Yeah.
I don't even want more people, and I like just our little group. It's fun.
Yeah.
They didn't realize they're auditioning to be Puckers. So
Oh, hey, that's how Tim got the fucking job. So
All
why
right,
not?
wouldn't leave us
Exactly.
alone.
You guys are already getting ready to replace me. I love it. Can you reimburse me for this fucking microphone?
Yeah, I'm sure you
Sure.
can find something to do with that phallic-looking thing.
Yeah.
Very, very penisy. That might.
It is very penisy. So hold that up again.
He's got a little head on.
Yeah, are you sure that's a microphone? It's not your fucking black dingus
Does it vibrate?
No, the top comes off and you put your
to
dick
take
in there.
batteries. Is that where you keep your hamster?
It's a fleshlight too.
Nice. All right. So yeah, we're gonna bounce out of here again. Thanks, guys. If a trade is made tomorrow, we're gonna be back on a live stream, little emergency episode. We're gonna talk about whatever. Otherwise, most likely be Thursday, before or after the Winnipeg game. We'll figure that out as we go. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, give us a like and subscribe, please. Hit the little alert bell, and if you're listening to us on Apple or Spotify, a 5-star rating and a positive comment helps the little podcast that could, and we would really appreciate you. For Bobby and Tim, I'm Chris. We're the Uncle Puckers. We'll see you guys when we see you.
There, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Suck a dick, Valicat.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!
We might not have a lot of listeners